At first glance, the house cat seems like an unlikely villain. They're small, elegant, domesticated, they curl up on laps, purr in windows, and star in billions of internet videos. But beneath the charm lies something more complicated and more dangerous. Because cats, while beloved by millions, have also become one of the most widespread and consequential invasive predators on Earth, and their rise has come at a serious cost to biodiversity. Let's unpack why. There are now an estimated 600 million domestic cats worldwide, and that number keeps climbing. Of those, tens of millions live outdoors as strays, semi-owned pets, or members of feral colonies. In the US alone, there may be 30 to 80 million feral cats, depending on whose estimates you use. And outdoor cats don't behave like indoor pets. They hunt, not because they're starving, but because they're wired to. Well-fed cats still stalk, pounce, and bring home trophies. Their drive to kill isn't based on hunger, it's instinct. And that instinct, scaled across millions of animals, becomes something else entirely, a force of ecological change. A study in Nature Communications estimated that free-ranging cats kill between 1.3 and 4 billion birds in the US each year. They also kill 6 to 22 billion mammals, including native rodents, rabbits, and shrews. Globally, cats have contributed to at least 63 extinctions, mostly birds, mammals, and reptiles. Isolated ecosystems suffer the most. On islands like New Zealand, Hawaii, and parts of Japan, species evolved without natural predators. They never had to learn to flee, hide, or protect nests from stealthy hunters. Cats changed that fast. Australia has gone so far as to declare feral cats a nationwide environmental threat. They now occupy over 99% of the continent and kill an estimated 2 billion native animals every year. Many of those species were already endangered before cats arrived. Now some are on the brink. This isn't a minor issue. It's a global-scale shift unfolding every day in cities, fields, and even nature reserves. Cats are what ecologists call super generalists. They thrive in almost any setting, from back alleys to alpine scrub. They don't need packs, tools, or complex strategies, just stealth, patience, and instincts honed by evolution. Let's break it down. Silent footfalls thanks to padded paws, eyes tuned for low-light hunting, hypersensitive hearing for rustles and chirps, needle claws, quick reflexes, and sudden bursts of speed, and most importantly, no behavioral off switch. Unlike wolves or hawks that hunt to eat, cats hunt for reasons we still don't fully understand: practice, boredom, play, or habit. This phenomenon is known as surplus killing, and it turns cats into constant ecological pressure, especially in areas already strained by habitat loss and climate change. They often prey on ground-nesting birds, small lizards, amphibians, and mammals, the very species least able to adapt to sudden new threats. So here's the uncomfortable question: what do we do about it? Cats aren't evil, they're animals doing what animals do. But collectively, we've put an apex-level predator in places that aren't equipped to handle them. And we've done it casually, with no ecological oversight. Some conservationists activate for lethal control of feral cat colonies, especially in sensitive habitats. Others push for TNR, trap, neuter, and return, as a more humane way to reduce numbers over time. But there's a catch: even neutered cats can still hunt, and returning them to the wild means returning predators into ecosystems that may never recover. The debate gets heated, fast. Animal rights groups and wildlife ecologists often find themselves at odds, but in truth, both want the same thing: a world where animals, wild and domestic, can live without suffering or collapse. Let's talk solutions. For pet owners, one simple step makes a massive difference. Keep cats indoors. Indoor cats live longer, stay healthier, and don't contribute to wildlife declines. There are entire industries now built around indoor enrichment: toys, climbing walls, puzzle feeders, and even catios. Secure patios that let cats experience the outdoors without harming local species. It's not punishment, it's responsible stewardship. For feral cats, the path forward is more complex. TNR, combined with public education, targeted habitat protection, and community coordination can help. especially when paired with laws that limit feeding or abandonment. But real progress will only happen when we treat this as a systems issue, not one person's pet problem, but rather a question of how we live with nature and what kind of nature we want to preserve. This isn't just a story about cats, it's a story about reshaping human ecosystems, often without meaning to. We brought cats to remote islands and fragile forests. We romanticized the idea of freedom to roam. We framed cats as independent and harmless, even as the data told a different story. And now, we're facing the results. But this isn't a call for panic, it's a call for attention. Because if we truly care about animals, we need to care about the ones we never see. The songbirds that vanished before spring. The lizards that stopped showing up on the path. The silent ones. Cats aren't villains, they're part of our lives, and for many, part of the family. But if we want a future where nature still sings, soars, and slinks through underbrush, we need to make better choices. At Forever Green, we believe in looking at the full picture, even when it's uncomfortable. Subscribe for more stories that go beyond the surface. And join our exclusive YouTube community for early access, behind-the-scenes content, and deeper dives into how everyday choices shape the world around us. Because sometimes, the most powerful threats to biodiversity come wrapped in fur, purring on our laps, and looking as innocent as ever.